Hi friends, this is Caitlin, and today I am sharing with you a card that I made for the Pawsome Stamps channel, and I shared it there last month, but I just love this card so much that I decided it had to be shared over here too. So I'm going to be using the XL birthday greetings, some of the images from the Oopsy Daisy stamp set, and then a lot of the sequin embellishments, which we'll get to later. Those are my favorite. And the Cloudy Days stencil, which is great. And I'll show you how versatile it is in a little bit. So we're going to be starting out with that stencil, and I'm going in with my Distress Oxide ink in Salvage Patina, and I am just going to start creating a very soft background. Most of this is going to get covered up, but I just didn't love the idea of setting my flowers onto a kind of stark white background. So I thought that it would be nice to give just a little bit of color, and you can see I'm tapping off my brush over on the side to make sure that I'm not working with too much ink at one time, and also by using my oxides, they kind of get that softer, chalky, oxidized finish, and I just love kind of how that gives a little bit of extra pastel to the Salvage Patina specifically. So I'm rotating my stencil around, and you can see I'm also keeping all of the color very close to the edge of the stencil. I'm trying not to take my color all the way up. I really want these to look like white fluffy clouds and not like blue clouds. And the nice thing with this stencil is it is super long, so you could use it for slimline cards or standard cards, and it just gives you so much variation and so much control over, you know, how many clouds you want to add, how big, how small, what angle. I just love this. And then you also get those individual clouds in the center that you could use as well, and just kind of mask off the edges or mask off the center, whatever you want to do. It's just a really good versatile stencil to have in your stash. My last step for my ink blending is going in with my little brush and just adding a little bit of color all the way around. I just like the way that this kind of frames up and grounds my whole background. So the next step is going to be taking those daisy images, and we're going to be stamping the same images over and over for this one. So I did speed up this process a little bit. I'm going to be using 6 of these large full-on center daisies, and then a bunch of the leaves, and I did stamp more leaves than I ended up using at the end, but I figured it was better to have too many than to have to go back and color afterwards. And I really love this kind of stamping where I stamp on one side and then just rotate my panel. So I did have to move my stamps 3 separate times, but I'd rather move it 3 times than 6. So I have all of my images stamped, and I just use my Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink, which is my favorite Copic Coloring ink to use. And now I'm going to go in and start my Copic Coloring. And I did do the same coloring process for every single flower, even though they're just different color schemes. So I left some of them in kind of still sped up, but not super fast. But as we go, I'm definitely going to start speeding them up and, you know, editing it a little bit, because watching the same one over and over again definitely gets a little tedious. I have all of the colors that I used for my color combinations listed in that description box below for you. So if I ever am going too fast or I edit it too fast and you miss a color, you can definitely look down in the description to see what shades I used. And all of the items that I used today, all the supplies, will be listed down in that description box below for you as well. I am so in love with this style of card where it really could be used for any occasion, but definitely feel free to change up the color scheme if you're creating this for somebody for maybe a birthday or a graduation. I thought this would be fun to change up the colors to kind of match either what that person likes or, you know, what school colors they are, anything like that. But I also just feel like you really can't go wrong with a good rainbow. So I decided to go with rainbow also because it was in June, so as a little nod to Pride Month. But now we're in July, and I'm still a rainbow fan. I just think you can't really go wrong with that. And we all always need extra encouragement cards in our stash. I think it's always a good time to send somebody a card and just let them know you're thinking of them, or they're doing a good job, or you're wishing them well. That can never be a bad thing in my book. So I got that red one done. I ended up doing a red, an orange, a yellow, kind of a tealy green because I wanted my leaves to be a true green and I didn't want my flower to match my leaves. So kind of a tealy green, a true blue, and then a purple. Depending on the kind of card you were doing or the size, if you're someone who loves a 5x7 card, you could probably fit even an extra flower or two into this. But I just loved kind of how the 6 laid out in a circle, and I just felt like that was a good rainbow color representation anyway. So now is when I'm going to start really speeding up that coloring. For the most part, I stuck with 3 color blends for all of my flowers. I love these stamps because there's enough room that you can really do some nice shading, but they're not so big and so much space there that you feel like you have to, add 4 or 5 markers, because when you're coloring 6 of them, that just feels like a lot. So I kept my coloring on my leaves really simple as well, just doing a 3 color blend, just darkest to lightest. And in general, I usually go darkest to lightest with all of my coloring. For this green, you can see now I'm adding in a green marker, like a true G marker, but the other shades I'm using are all BGs, and I just kind of liked this fun green tealy color. It doesn't quite match the background, so it reads as a little more green than that, but just something different to go and kind of contrast with those YGs that I used for the leaves. So the other reason that I was so excited to create this card, this rainbow card, was because it let me dig through my sequin mixes, and my Pawsome Stamps sequin addiction is real, guys. It is serious. I've grown quite a collection. I do get a discount as part of the design team, but I bought multiple sets of her sequins even before I was on the design team, and I still have them, and I've repurchased a few colors already because I just use them so much. I cannot recommend them enough. I love her stamp sets, but let me tell you, the sequin mixes are chef's kiss. I also just wanted to let you know that we are about a month away from me hitting my 1-year anniversary on YouTube, and it has been an absolutely amazing year. I'm so grateful for all of the support and kind words and just, subscribers, all the things. I just really appreciate you guys so much. I am trying so hard to, turn my card making into more than just a hobby, and that is not easy. And I have a full-time job and 2 kids, and I'm sure that is like most other crafty people and mamas out there. And I just really appreciate you being here. And with that being said, we are also very close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, which, if you have ever looked into, how YouTube works, is a huge milestone that gets me one step closer to being able to monetize my channel. And so to celebrate, whenever I do hit 1,000, my personal goal was to try to hit that before my 1-year mark. So we'll see if we, can get that to happen. But when I do hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, whether we make my goal or not of the date, I will be putting up a video for a huge giveaway. I've been getting all kinds of stamps, stencils, dies, embellishments. Some will be gently used, some will be most will probably be absolutely brand new. I'll figure out the total value as soon as I can. I'll definitely know by the time, we post about it, but it's definitely going to be more than $400 or $500 worth of product. And if I can, I'll add some gift cards into that as well. But I just really want to try to give back and say thank you for all of the support. So if you know anybody who doesn't know about my channel that you think would like it, definitely please, give me a shout out, recommend me when you can. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, and I'm going to try really hard to give back. Maybe it is going to be a lot of stuff, so maybe I can break it up into a couple and we can give away a couple things. If you let me know and leave me a comment down below if you made it this far, which you would prefer. If you think one super crazy $500 prize would be better, or if I should give away like 3 prizes or 5 prizes that are each like 100 plus a gift card or something like that, 100 worth of product and a gift card. And obviously I would be paying for shipping, so you don't have to worry about that. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'm very curious to see how you feel. And then let me jump back to the card. So I got all of my flowers colored, got some white gel pen on them, got them die cut, and now I am just kind of going around and placing them in place. I used my Tombow Mono adhesive, permanent adhesive runner, but I'm not pushing down on any of my flowers, and that way I can still tuck my next flower underneath, and I'm just kind of creating this fanned circle all the way around. And my sentiment, which I fussy cut out, is the hope your day is the best ever. So it could be birthday, graduation, any kind of accomplishment, you know, school dance, talent show, spelling bee, whatever you need a best day ever for. I fussy cut that out, and I'm just holding it in the center just to kind of gauge, to make sure everything is even all the way around and I can see the center of those flowers all the way around. And then once I was happy, then I pushed down on all my flowers and adhered them into place. And then I decided to just add 4 of those little leaves kind of on the 4 corners, just to ground it a little bit. I didn't want to take away too much from the flowers, but also I wanted to make sure I had enough space for all the sequins I was going to be adding. So I didn't go too crazy with the leaves, and now I have a couple in my pre-cut little Copic bowl of pre-cut and colored images, and that's cool because you always need leaves for something, right? So then I decided to pop up my little fussy cut sentiment, and I'm just doing that with some really thin 3M foam tape, and that is going to give me the perfect place to tuck some sequins, and then I'm going to kind of scatter them around in a rainbow order, coordinating with my flowers. So I also went in with my Simon Says Stamp tea ruler, this little mini tea ruler. It is amazing. So now I have my sequins, all right, and I'm gonna run through and tell you what they all are. So we have, the first is Peppermint, the orange one is Campfire, the yellow is Hello Sunshine, the green is Captivating Cactus, the blue is called Blue Skies, and the purple that I used is called Orchid. So I am just taking 2 to 3 of each of these colors, and I'm kind of tucking at least 1 under the sentiment and then putting 1 or 2 further out, either on the flower petals or out onto the cloud background. And I kind of just took my time kind of zhuzhing these around, figuring out kind of what made sense, making sure that everything still felt really balanced. And then once I'm happy, I'm going to go in with my liquid glue and my Studio Katia wand and glue everything into place. And I just think that this card just exudes happiness and joy, and I hope that it brightens your day and gives you some good inspiration. So thank you for being here today. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. I hope you have an amazing week, and as always, happy crafting.